G'day, guys. Welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. Today, we're going to do something a little bit different. This will be the first time I think we're talking about an opponent, like a real opponent coming up, right? So we have 1 week away, 7 days away, 7 Big Ben days away from an actual game. And by this time right now, the game will be over and we'll know if the Steelers win, 1-0, or if we're going to see the 49ers win, 1-0. I do believe still, and I think I've said my prediction, but I'll say it again. You guys can also, put your prediction in the comments. I think they're going to win 31-10. Around, 31-10. I think something like that might happen. Just for what I've seen in the offseason, how the Steelers have been playing in the preseason and just all the moves they've made. And I think the team will be ready to wreak havoc. And I've got, in today's video, I want to talk about 3 storylines that I see as a Steelers fan, right? Look, I'm not an analyst. I'm just a bloke in his room talking Steelers. But for what I see for the 49ers, three storylines that kind of like intrigue me or interest me going into this game. And first of all, let's start with, I guess, the elephant in the room. Will Nick Bosa play, right? All offseason I've been seeing on NFL.com, and by the way, I don't really follow any other teams now besides the Steelers, so I'm trying to catch myself up. But Nick Bosa hasn't been signed yet to a big deal. Now, I went on to Niners Nation. So an article, and I will link this in the comments below too if you want to read it, by Patrick Holloway. Says Nick Bosa to be the highest paid defensive player in the league. Deal not a slam dunk yet. So this bloke hasn't even been signed. Now I don't think he was allowed to. Then he probably wouldn't have been allowed to go to training camp. Hasn't been signed yet. And week 1's coming up versus Steelers, and we're 7 days away, and the ink has not been signed yet. So that to me is pretty interesting. It's something to look out for, that the defensive player last year of the year hasn't been signed to a contract. Now, I do remember a few years ago, TJ Watt did the same thing where he held out and then next minute came out and went crazy week 1. Could this be a similar thing? Does he need the reps, or can he just sign 2 days before the next minute he's playing versus Steelers and then that's it, right? But that is also something to look out for. Nick Bosa has not signed his contract yet. I don't know if you guys knew that. I've been watching that story a little bit here and there. I think the deal will get done, but it looks for right now, 7 days to go, has not signed anything. So there's a quote here from the article, says a bit more optimism here. People I talk to believe he will be the highest paid defensive player in the league, above Aaron Donald, $31 million. If they can get this to the finish line, the 49ers would like to push this through before week 1. So they're trying to figure things out, but it's not a slam dunk yet. The second thing I want to bring up in this, leading into the week, I'm still not sold on Brock Purdy. And I know I've got a podcast coming up. I've got a podcast coming up with my mate from the Camper Report, Ben. He's a 49ers fan. So I will link that in the comments, I will link that in my community tab in the next few days. I'll do the podcast on Wednesday. So you guys can, listen to that podcast back and forth, 49ers fan versus Steelers fan. And no bad blood. We're just talking football and we're talking our team. But I am biased, and I do believe the Steelers can win. I don't care what anyone says, and I'm going to stay on the hype train. I'm going to stay on the win train. I'm not going to say the 49ers are going to come in here with Brock Purdy and go score 3 TDs and get 21 points. I just don't see it. I really don't see it, not with our defense. But that's a narrative I'm seeing around the internet now, is it's Kenny Pickett versus Brock Purdy. And it's like, well, Kenny Pickett had a great preseason. I'm not even sure if Brock Purdy even played in the preseason. I don't even know. You guys let me know if he did play in the preseason. But Kenny Pickett did his 5-for-5 drives. Almost had a QBR record of like almost perfect or perfect passer rating. He stepped up big time. We all know what Kenny can do. And on the other side, Brock Purdy is the Mr. Irrelevant, the crazy story last year. Where he won like 4 or 5 games, 6 games in a row, went to the playoffs and stuff like that. So there's 2 different storylines to go here, but I'm still not sold on Brock Purdy yet. I'm not sold on him. I think it's Mr. Irrelevant versus Kenny Pickett. And I don't think Brock Purdy can come into this house, that is Heinz Field, take over and score more than 20 points. I know they have a good offense with Kittle, Brendan Ayuk, he's a good player. Christian McCaffrey is there too, the running back, and Debo, is it Debo Samuels? Yeah, he's good too, right? And he's a very physical guy that can play running football and catching. So I understand how good their offense is, but I just don't think that a guy who's Mr. Irrelevant can do that. But that's my fan perspective. The last one I want to talk about is Javon Hargrave. We forgot that, haven't we? Javon Hargrave used to be a Steeler, then was, I think he went and played for the Eagles for a little minute, had a chance to win a Super Bowl last year against the Chiefs. The Chiefs won. Juju got his ring, and Javon didn't get his. But now he's a 49er, so it's first year as a 49er. So he, to me, is someone I think we have to stop. Like, he's going to be crazy. He was always fun to watch as a Steeler. We had him, Cam. I think Stephon Tuitt was in there too. You know, what we used to call him, Jay Wobble. So Javon Hargrave, the grave digger. So he was always fun to watch. So that's going to be cool to see him come back to Heinz Field. But I bet you he wants to win this game. So, guys, those are my three. Right now, in a very short video as we lead into the week, it's Nick Bosa. Will he play? It's Kenny Pickett versus Brock Purdy. It's Mr. Irrelevant versus the first-round pick. That is something to watch. And thirdly, it's what kind of a game does Javon Hargrave have? Can the offensive line keep him out? Can Mason Cole, the new guards, and Cia Marlowe and James Daniels keep him out? Anyways, those are my takes. So let me know what you guys think of those takes, because we are ramping up to, you know, a week to go for the Steelers versus 49ers. I'll be streaming that game 3 a.m. But I just don't know if Nick Bosa is going to play. Will they sign him? I see this narrative now. It's Brock Purdy versus Kenny Pickett. They all gave praise to Brock Purdy, and just now Kenny Pickett is getting a little bit of praise. So that's kind of cool to see. I want to kind of see that, you know, Kenny Pickett squash those. You know, that fire that is Brock Purdy and Mr. Irrelevant, that story can go, you know, want to see that done. And the last one was, Javon Hargrave coming back to Heinz Field. Anyways, that's it. I'll see you guys later. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. I know it's your Sunday, and I'll see you guys later on. Here we go, Steelers.